Today, easy recipe is stew. Winter's coming on, fall's coming on. It is the time to bring out the stew pot. Me, I'm a busy mom. It's a crock pot. I'm going to show you how to... On your meat, it makes no difference what kind of meat you use. This is ground bison, but you can use ground beef, you can use ground turkey, you can use any kind of meat at all. Now, to the stew, you put whatever vegetables you got in the pantry. Just go in there and get everything and dump it in the pot. It's fine. I like a little celery in mine. Don't forget, fresh produce, you soak it in baking soda and water for about 15 minutes before you cut it off. Wash that off and then you cut it up. Celery, do not throw these tops away. That's your flavor of your celery. A lot of people cut that off. Don't do that. That's where you get your flavor. A lot of people don't like celery in their stew. You don't like celery, don't put it in there. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Now, this is for busy moms. Use a can of carrots if you want. If you don't, if you have a bag of baby carrot, I'm just going to dump them in there. You can put in a can of diced potatoes or a can of whole potatoes. It makes no difference which ones you put in there. I have some potatoes in the cabinet that I peeled. Again, it's busy moms. If you don't have time to peel a potato, use a can of potatoes. It doesn't matter. You're still going to get a good stew. Cut those however you want. It makes absolutely no difference how you cut them. It don't matter. You cannot mess this up. You have fresh green beans, you can use fresh green beans. I'm going to use a can of green beans. Do not forget to wash the tops off these before you open them. You have no idea what crawled around on those in the warehouse or on the truck coming over. You got some fresh frozen corn, throw the frozen corn in there. I don't, I've got a can of corn. It's going in. I like to have a little Rotel in mine. I'm using that bison, it's dry, so I'm putting an extra can of Rotel. If you don't like tomatoes, you're allergic, don't put it in there. It's fine. You literally cannot mess this up. If you don't put in the tomatoes, you might want to add a little water if you don't use the tomatoes. If you use all frozen, fresh vegetables and no tomatoes, you won't have any stew liquid in there, so you need to add water. And while this is cooking, if you need to add some water, you can. If you take off to work and you come home and it dried up, well, guess what? Put a frozen pizza in the oven. It'll be fine. It won't be the end of the world. But you can just put some water in there. You can't put too much water. It's fine. You're not going to mess this up. You cannot mess this up. Now, in with your ground beef. This doesn't have to be all the way cooked. Rolo will get that. Oh, God. Rolo will get that, too. Here he comes. I hear his little paws. Literally, you guys, look. Here he comes. Yes, thank you. He will clean that right up for me. Another tip there. If you throw it on the floor, just let the dog get it. All right, now, like I was saying before I dumped that on the floor, you don't get your meat all the way brown. You're in a hurry to leave in the morning. That's fine. It doesn't have to be all the way cooked because it is going to cook in the pot. What I don't like is ground beef. There's a lot of grease that you have to drain off. I don't like all that grease in my stew. It make me sick. So if you're using a greasy meat, you might want to get it at least halfway brown so you can drain off as much of that fat as you can. You don't need to save your hamburger grease. And then put it in there. If it's ground turkey that doesn't have a lot of juice or bison that doesn't have a lot of juice, you can just shred it up and put it in raw because this is going to cook the meat. Okay. All right, now we need some stew seasoning. If you don't remember what goes in stew seasoning, you're going to open ChatGPT and say, what goes in stew seasoning? And ChatGPT is going to come back to you with all the stuff that you need for a stew. Right there. Easy peasy. You don't have to remember it. You don't have to write it down. Now, the easier thing for busy moms is you buy the packet of stew seasoning. However, it costs you like 1,000,000 times more than it would be to do this. So grab all that junk out of your pantry and throw it in this stew. And if you don't like some of that, leave it out. I carefully measured everything that ChatGPT told me. And now I'm going to stir it. Now, mine, I can tell right now, there is not enough liquid in this pot. I'm going to add me some water. It is not going to work. You can add more water when you get home. I mean, I like about that much water. I want some liquid in there because I want something to dip my cornbread in. Stir that up. You can put a whole onion in here too, or fresh onion. I put the onion powder in. I was too lazy to cut up an onion. I didn't want to be crying this morning. Again, this is easy. Don't overthink it. Put whatever vegetables you want in there. Lid on the pot, it goes on low. If you're taking off to work and leaving this, you may not need it on low all day long. You may need it on, you may need to put it on high if you're just going to church and coming back. I will let you know how long it cooks on low. He wants to make sure that Roomba does not get any more stew I drop, and he wants to be right there just in case I drop some more. Look at him. It's like, is there anything else there? Yep, maybe. I think that vacuum stole it. 7.5 hours later, everybody's home ready to eat, and there is the final stew. Once the potatoes are soft, it's ready to eat. The best thing about stew in a crock pot is, look here, on day 2, your dinner's done, folks. Drop it right back in that crock pot, turn it on warm, and when you get home, dinner is done.